What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Tonight is going to be pretty interesting, that's for sure. We have a lot to talk to you about with the severe weather. Let's go ahead and do this real quickly.
We're so straight on the track.
We got a lot to talk about tonight with the severe weather, as I am just mentioning to our guys in Storms United. We've had a lot of big developments over the last 24 hours, so I figured I'd fire up a stream since we didn't cover everything in today's video to go ahead and go over them. But with that being said, before we do that, let's go ahead and introduce the people who are in here tonight. We'll go ahead and start with a new face that is in here, Brendan, our general manager. Brendan, say hello.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, we also have Daniel. This is an unexpected visit. Hello, Daniel.
It just caught me coming out of the gym.
Nice. We also have Tristan. Tristan, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we have John, our head admin. He may be a bit AFK right now, but he's listening in. John, if you're there, say hello.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
My Johnny boy.
Yeah, and we also have Rockets in this Dream. Rockets, say hello.
Hello.
All right.
Don't blow up.
Yeah, and we also have we also have Alex, who is muted right now. He's probably going to be kind of doing behind the scenes stuff and all of that, unless he wants to interject. But we have a big house tonight here at Storms United, where you have a lot to talk about. Oh, we got someone else who wants to come in. Apparently, David wants to come in. What do you guys think?
The Slaughtower, Slot Dog?
Nah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Why not? Give in here.
This would be a very good
This
discussion.
will be a very good stream. David, welcome. David Schlotthauer, welcome to the stream.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
It's
Pretty
David
much just
Howard
leveraging
here.
the
How's everyone?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. You actually came just in time for this. We have a
Yeah,
lot
I
to
got your
really
note. I was able to get your notification when you were going live. So, and I'm not doing anything. I took a break from schoolwork because we
Sure.
had a big storm. We had like 40, 50 mile an hour winds here.
Yeah.
It's pouring. It's the same storm that's going to be moving into the Midwest on Friday.
Oh yes,
Cool.
yes. We are talking about this tonight.
We
Let's-
got a little bit of everything to cover tonight.
Oh, God.
I must say
Not
that.
this again. Not this again.
David, I just wanted to let you know earlier
Okay.
today in California, they had a severe thunderstorm
Oh,
warning with a
hold
tour
up.
possible.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
It is.
Believe me. That's okay. I had my third or fourth experience of a shelf cloud as that cold front surged right before we were leaving to go to church because we were delivering food. Saw this shelf cloud coming in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna dump so much rain.
Yeah.
So the wind, I literally watched it. Winds were out of the south. They shifted rapidly out of the west, and they were gusting to like 40 to 50 miles an hour out of the west as that cold front swung through.
Wow.
It was like 63 degrees. Yeah, 63 degrees before the line came in, and now it's 44 outside. It's pretty chilly.
That's going to
That's
be
Oh, my
interesting.
gosh.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it rained really hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for
Big
sure.
flooding.
So I'll let you do most of the talking. I want to cover the fire side of things just very quickly,
Yeah.
maybe. So I don't know if you all on the Discord, of course, have looked at the latest wind forecast for northern and western Texas. We are talking
I
surface
saw
winds.
that.
Surface
Yeah.
winds 45 to 60 miles an hour.
Yeah,
Sustained.
we're watching that.
Sustained.
Yeah,
That's gonna
knowing
be a
how
pretty big
Texas
pressure
is,
gradient.
it's only a matter of time until that becomes an issue.
Speaking of fire, David brought up a good point because I had the fire weather outlook for today already up. There is an extreme risk in parts of southwest Texas near the Mexico border.
Yeah, let me go
parts
ahead
of
and
San Angelo
pull
and
it
the
up.
Del Rio. Yep, I got it on my screen.
Yeah, I know. I'm
I'm
just
sharing
switching
it.
tabs so I can show you,
Yep.
show the audience.
And
Go ahead.
So this is the extreme fire risk, but it's not going to end here. Here is tomorrow. A critical fire risk stretching from southern South Dakota all the way towards parts of western Texas and parts of eastern New Mexico. Now let's go to day 3 and 8, which is related to our severe weather
Yep.
But and we got, by the way, we got a new day 6 and day 7 fire risk, so even more fire after
my
this. But
gosh.
they get a break on
Very
day
dry
5.
out there.
It looks like.
Yeah.
Day 3 is a huge fire risk. So that's associated with the
Oh,
low
gosh.
pressure doing rapid cyclogenesis over parts of the Midwest, most likely around Kansas. And that will trigger not only our severe weather, but more fire risk. The fire risk spreads all the way next to the enhanced risk of severe weather, actually, because it includes northwestern Arkansas now, southwestern Missouri, and southeastern Kansas. So that also points to something else. You got a very, very strong dry line. That's our dry line location.
Yeah, and that
Can I
dry
ask
line is going to be
again here?
very relevant for what we are going to be seeing over this weekend. Go ahead, Tristan or David.
So
Well, that was I was gonna talk.
Go ahead,
but-
Daniel.
Oh,
Go ahead, Rockets.
Yeah, I was gonna just quickly point in the fact that has anybody been seeing how many prescribed burns have been going on across the U.S. that are picking up on satellite?
oh
I've
yeah,
seen
there's
some
a
of them.
lot. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's
There-
yeah, I saw that. I saw that on Twitter.
There are a
Twitter
lot
feed.
going. There,
I saw
they-
that.
For a second, I thought the whole entire southern part of the U.S. was on fire in different parts,
Yeah.
which it basically is.
Yeah.
So now to interject really quickly
Go ahead, David.
onto the fire risk, they're gonna go extreme on day 2, 100%. I already know for a fact. Wind gusts over 70 miles an hour over western northern Texas. In fact, I saw from the national Blenda models actually indicating isolated wind gusts over 80 miles an hour
Wow.
over Amarillo, Texas, northern panhandle of Texas, eastern New Mexico, and portions of southeastern Colorado is where I think we're going to have gusts of at least 70 plus miles an hour with isolated gusts in a few areas, particularly in windiest favored areas, could have gusts over 80 miles an hour.
Ooh.
That combined with relative humidities less than 10%, with dew points in the single digits, will lead to extremely critical, widespread fire danger in this area. And I don't like to overdo this and
Sure.
hype up and cause fear or anything. This is a situation that if we get a fire, which I pray to the Lord we do not, but if we get a fire, say up on the upwind, which would be in eastern New Mexico, these fires could spread at least 20 to 40 miles an hour. We could have firestorms because of how strong and how dry the conditions are.
Yeah, and
basically,
if I may, real quickly on that, I'm pretty much gonna steel man what David said, because the one other thing too that he mentions is the again the what did you say, David? The fire spread? We had a word for it.
Oh yeah, the fire spread with the
Yeah.
brush and everything and how
Yeah,
dry
thank
it
you.
is.
Yeah. So you certainly will have quite a bit of fire branding if one is to ignite. You have a lot of grass shrub. And the one thing about grass shrub, different than that of, say, crown, grass shrub, even though it doesn't burn as hot, it spreads fast.
Absolutely.
Fast and furious.
It flies. And if you don't think so, and if you're watching this live stream, go ahead and Google Smokehouse Creek Fire, Texas Panhandle,
Ooh.
which burned 1 million acres.
Oh yeah, I remember
That
that.
that was a firestorm, and it was basically a runaway freight train, that fire, and that just took place, I believe, in February of 24. Again, to David's point, these conditions are, and I wouldn't be surprised if we do see an extreme risk for that area that David outlined, simply because you have really strong winds, especially coming off the plateaus, and that's going to really essentially go downwind and downslope into these areas. And so you will see probably some of the strongest winds to the northwest of San Antonio and even towards Midland, Amarillo. Excuse me. And so very, very concerned about that. It's a storyline that, severe convective storms, that definitely is taking the storyline for our conversation. But David, I'm really glad you called that out, because that is a very underrated story right now that could be problematic.
Oh yeah.
Very
And on
problematic.
top of that, due to a very well deeply mixed boundary layer, because we're going to warm up those temperatures to the super adiabatic at the surface. So a well mixed inverted V profile, that means mixing pretty high into the atmosphere. So any blowing dust, that's going to get whiffed up into the air, of course, and cause a lot of bad air quality. But the thing I really wanted to emphasize in this live stream, or on Pat's live stream here,
Sure.
is due to the fact that we have very intense deep layer flow out of the westerly direction over these mountains, primarily over the Sandias Mountains in Albuquerque to the east, where we have these tall mountains, we could have a very, very significant mountain wave event. So if you think of, you place a rock in the water, or you have like a little lump on the ground and the water flows, you're actually going to get ripples down flow of that, so downwind. So you're going to get this mountain wave event, and models do not pick this up all the time very well, and they are very hard to predict. Why I say this is because just because we have gusts on most of our models between 70 to 80 miles an hour, because of the deep layer flow at 700 millibars or 10,000 feet, or even down to say 5 to 6,000 feet in some of the higher valleys, some of the mountains and stuff, the hills,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, in
Yep.
eastern New Mexico.
Mhm. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So when you get these winds that blow due west, perpendicular
You
at
get
90
wave
degrees, yeah, you get a lot of wave breaking, and we can get gusts. The National Weather Service, in some of the highest terrain and downwind, immediately downwind of these mountains, we could have gusts exceeding 100 plus miles an hour.
Wow.
Yes, 100 miles an hour. So if you get a fire that starts right like right on that side, it will spread. Oh, it's gonna spread thousands of acres per hour. I'm not gonna say hundreds of thousands
Sure.
of acres per hour. That's
Yeah.
going a little
That's
too
a bit
far,
over. That's a
but
bit
it is.
much.
And you would, similar to the Palisades, right? The other issue that comes with that is fire spotting.
Yep.
Because when you
Yeah.
have really good wave breaking, you have downwind, you're going down slope of, say, the mountain / plateaus, you then get those embers to carry upwards of a few to even a couple dozen miles away from the fire front. And all it takes is for it to land in a home, and it ignites, and then you get structure to structure fire. So, again, pretty much just backing up David's point there, how you do get that fire spread. It's by, similar to what we saw in the Palisades, these really, really robust fire branding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's due to one, what we're seeing here. I don't want to get into too much scientific terms here,
Sure.
but what we're seeing is, of course, mountain wave breaking event or mountain wave event. When you get such strong winds, okay, actually if I say this, I'm not trying to make up meteorological words here, but
Okay.
hydrostatic pressure on one side of the mountain is actually substantially higher than it is on the leeward side, which explains why we get those winds that go up and over, and they're very strong, especially when they accelerate downhill. And so it's part of the equation that models are not going to pick this up very well. So if you're in an area right downwind from these mountains or these hills, from the winds that blow from the west or through these canyons, these narrow passes, don't be surprised if the National Weather Service forecasts for your particular area, oh, we're going to get 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts, but you might end up getting gusts maybe 80, maybe 90 miles an hour. 100, not out of the question, but that would be found typically in the higher elevations above the flat surface, because that's where most of our wind energy is going to come from. But boy, oh boy, I cannot emphasize it enough. If we get any fires that start from fallen power lines that are live, or cigarettes, people throwing out cigarettes on dry grass, you could believe me that we are going to have firestorms.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't say that very lightly. I don't say that to cause panic, to cause fear, but that's the situation that is going to be in place for Friday because of these winds that are going to be anywhere between 35 to 50 miles an hour in many spots, with gusts of at least 70 to 80 miles an hour
Yeah.
is what we're looking at. So big time I cannot emphasize it enough. Extreme fire danger for sure on Friday. I already know what the SPC is going to do with their day 2 outlook. They're going to go extreme. If they don't on their first initial day 2 outlook, they will do so in future outlooks, because what I'm seeing extreme fire danger.
Yeah.
It is looking awfully dangerous.
That is for sure. Thank you for bringing that up. I know that we're mainly covering severe weather tonight. That was the main topic, but we also wanted to cover fire weather as well.
Talk about severe weather. I'm done with my fire stuff.
For sure.
Not only that, but there's another point I want to make about the fire risk. If you have a large enough fire, don't rely on the conditions to make the fire behave, because fires can create their own environments if they're large enough. So we need to point that too.
Yeah.
So, yes. And I just suggest don't go camping for the next few days there either. Just don't.
Yeah.
Don't light a fire. Even at night, it's going to be good enough to spark forest fires.
Yeah.
Especially when we get the cyclone genesis later on during our severe weather period. So that is a good thing to mention.
Yeah.
And if only that slight risk of flooding was on the southwest, they would be having a fun time with no fires. But unfortunately,
that's not quite where it's at, where it's placed at.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead and pivot over to severe weather. First of all, first of all, I want to briefly touch up on what's going on tonight, since I know there's probably going to be some people who are asking about it. What I'm seeing right now, first of all, on radar, let me go ahead and show it to you on radar scope. There's nothing severe. There's just one big line that's moving from outside of Austin through College Station all the way up to Tyler, Texas. There's nothing severe with this. It's not particularly that impressive, to say the very least. Tristan, David, if you guys want to go ahead and take a stab at this, what are you seeing so far?
I was looking at Doppler radar. There were a few supercells. What is it called? A vertical liquid inundation. I think I pronounced that right. Had some values near 80. So those storms very early on were able to break the cap, but I think the cap was too strong. And the surface low on the surface analysis, while David was talking, I was looking at surface analysis. It is very broad right now. And this also contributes to what we'll eventually talk about.
Sure.
But there is still a slight risk, when a low-level jet kicks in, sometimes storms can react to that. So that's why the severe thunderstorm watch goes until 11 p.m. Central, 12 a.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Because of the potential of the low-level jet, too. The biggest threat was large hail. And large hail, there was some pretty good cores on the few cells that were able to. Not very large hail, but there were still some good cores. We actually do have some damage reports from both the line of storms, but also the gradient winds we were talking about. Ponder and Denton County, Texas, a non-thunderstorm wind gust. 3-inch tree limbs are broken and power poles are broken. Back to what David said.
Yep.
The winds are strong enough to knock some power poles down, and that could cause fire issues.
Even more fire issues.
Another non-thunderstorm wind gust. Shingles were blown off. 1-inch tree limbs broken. Hail of penny size was reported around Metcalfe and Cairns and Henderson and Navarro counties in Texas. They were public reported. So the storms didn't do nothing, and we did get a few severe thunderstorm warnings. We had one small comma head today, not surface. Good thing it wasn't surface, because that could have tapped into the instability much better.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
These storms were the victim of what we call a very strong EML layer in a cap.
Yep. We were talking about that a little bit. What I think, all right, what I will say is I want to make this clear. I believe the winter storm, the severe thunderstorm watch for Dallas-Fort Worth has been canceled. According to what Alex has sent, the DFW Metro, they've canceled the severe thunderstorm warning up there. And David, I want your take on this. What do you think? What are your thoughts on today? Generally, very quickly. Oh, David's muted.
He's muted right now.
Yeah,
I don't think today, the reason why today into tonight and tomorrow morning is significant with this slight risk is not because it might have done anything.
Sure.
Honestly, I could have cared less, right? In a way. The biggest thing I was looking at the slight risk for was the strength of the shortwave and the mini cold front that will drag our moisture. How far does the moisture go south before the moisture blossoms again during Friday and Saturday?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know about this. So the shortwave trough is starting to get into the Gulf, and let's see if we can get some surface observations to help us out.
Yeah.
There is still some decent 60s across Texas, but we saw that before in the models. The question is, how far does that mini cold front go before dying off, and the warm advection with the rapid cyclogenesis in the future replaces it?
Sure.
That's the question we want to know, and that's why I was looking at. They didn't release the 00Z soundings yet, which that's unfortunate because I wanted to see the start timing of the when the shortwave gets into the Gulf and after, and we're trying to compare it to see what model is it better, because the NAM today showed a very massive moisture plume suddenly out of nowhere after the shortwave. I do
Was
think
it
the
for the
NAM is
threat
a
for
little
today?
bit over.
I want to cross check it.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
the
think
NAM is.
I think the
However,
NAM is over realistic. I think it will be a little bit more south.
Okay.
I would like to point out though, the NAM is also agreeing with the NAM though. I would like to point that out though.
What
The
is
NAM is
agreeing with the NAM?
agreeing. The NAM is. I mean, I know the NAMIS and NAM are
They're
basically the same.
more or
I mean,
less
not the same.
intertwined with each other, but yeah.
Yeah, but they sometimes disagree with each other. But this time they agree on one thing: the moisture. They agree
Oh
there's
yeah,
going to
there's
be
a
a
huge
higher
moisture plume that moves into parts of Texas. That'll be interesting to see how it pans out in the next 48 hours.
Yep. I would like to point that out. The
Sure.
wrap is. If you look at the wrap, if you want to look at the wrap, it's
Yeah, I'll take a
most
quick look
likely
at it.
overmixing. It's most likely overmixing the moisture, as it's pretty bad. I'll say. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
put a
not
pretty blunt.
fantastic. That's not
It's
fantastic.
probably overmixing, in my opinion, which is a known bias of the rap and the H-triple-R.
And
So
I don't want to be this person. Normally, we rely on models, right? Normally, we would rely on models for these
Sure.
types of events. I think this is going to be one of those times where we can look at models and get an idea, but because of the events we have been talking about are starting to occur, we can actually resort to surface analysis. We don't have to always look at models now, and this will give us an even better clue. Which is the one good thing about the shortwave coming through is surface analysis is more important further from an event than at other times. There are times where surface analysis is not important until the night of, right? Well, this is different. So we can now compare the models to the surface analysis and make an even more educated guess on what might happen.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Thank you very much, Tristan. All right. There's really not that much other I want to discuss about tonight, mainly because I want to get to the main stuff because a lot of people are asking about Friday and Saturday. The reason we did bring up tonight is predominantly because there were some questions about whether this could could help set the tempo or not, whether it would affect the moisture like we were just talking about. What's up?
Yeah.
I think David unmuted it. He has a map background. He
Oh, hold on a
unmuted.
second. I'll
Well, almost.
David, you unmuted.
I'll mute him real quick.
Oh, there.
Yeah, whenever
Yeah.
he's ready, go on live no mic and unmute yourself and tell me to unmute you. So, all right. In the meantime, we wanted to look at tonight because we weren't sure if it was going to impact the moisture gradient or any of the other parameters for Friday or Saturday for the Midwest and the Deep South. It looks to me that it's not going to nearly do as much as what some were hoping for. We were generally what we would have ideally wanted is maybe an overperformance tonight, so that way it would suck up some of the moisture, and then it could underperform Friday and then Saturday as an ideal, because it takes time to replenish that moisture. And that was kind of the thinking we were hoping would happen, but it looks like that's not going to be the case tonight. All right.
No.
Let's get into the main meat of this. We have Friday.
All right.
We have an enhanced risk of severe weather from Iowa down to Mississippi. We have a 30% hatched risk, which means we have a 30% probability of significantly severe weather happening within 25 miles of a point. That could mean EF2 to EF5 tornadoes. That could mean 75 mile per hour winds or greater. That could mean 2-inch hail. or greater, that those kind of are what you would consider significantly severe hazards right there. So ultimately, we need to take this very seriously right here. And I want to start with the Friday threat because, number one, we have the most data we can come off of. And number three, I just want to see it could be a potential tone setter for what happens on Saturday. So I want to go ahead and have Rockets take a shot at this. And I want his opinion on what he thinks is about this first.
All right. So I think honestly a moderate is pretty possible now with how strong the models are coming in with the wins. I'm mostly
Yeah.
talking about the wins because most of the cam models, the Rap, the Namus, Namus is probably overdoing it, but even the Nam and the Rap show very strong lines of damaging wins. Very strong. So I would not rule out a moderate for wins.
Yeah, I
And
definitely wouldn't either.
Yeah, and I wouldn't rule out. I wouldn't. I'm still iffy on the 15-6 for tornadoes because that dew points. However,
Sure.
though, if we just get like maybe a degree or two more dew points in the 60s in like Arkansas, the environment looks really bad for good for tornadoes, but bad for us, of course.
Yeah.
Looks very strong for tornadoes.
Hmm.
The wind shear, the lap spread probably will be fine, but the NAM shows because the NAM's cold bias though
Sure.
shows bad lap rates, but they should be decent at least. They should be decent with the strong shear, with all the other factors and Cape's decent too. There's still pretty good chance we get strong tornadoes in like Arkansas and just far as like maybe Eastern Kentucky. Wait, no, sorry, Western Kentucky.
Yeah,
Western
definitely.
Kentucky.
I agree with you right there. I wanted to bring up a couple of points. Number one, I forgot to mention this. We have our storm code out from Teevil. John had some stuff he had to do today, so Teevil took over for him. Here's the storm code. Code yellow from Minnesota all the way down to Georgia. Code orange encompasses the enhanced risk and the 30% risk in other areas in between. And the code red encompasses the 30% risk for day 4 because of how big of an event that could be. We'll get to the Saturday stuff later. But my main focus is for right now on Friday because that could set the tone for what happens on Saturday, and ultimately, I will get to that in a bit. I just want to go ahead and continue on the Friday stuff. I want to show this because I didn't show this quite earlier. So yeah, thank you very much, Rockets. Another thing I wanted to point out is you were mentioning those uptrends, Rockets. I was watching them too with the NAM 18Z especially. Just really showing a much stronger jet, especially a stronger jet streak by 7 p.m. on Friday, with potentially up to at 500 millibars, 100 knots, close to like in southeastern Missouri, compared to what we were seeing with the 12Z, where it was definitely actually never mind, it didn't really uptrend that much. Never mind, it was just the positioning shifted a bit. Then going down to 850. That's a pretty significant uptrend. The lower winds and the lower level shear definitely have uptrended quite a bit, and that's a concern I have. I'll go ahead and shift a little bit. Tristan, what are your thoughts for Friday and kind of these new developments that we're seeing with this?
Interesting little thing. Pat and I and everybody keep saying, "Oh, Friday looks like a possible moderate. It stays enhanced, moderate, enhanced," and that's because the models have been shifting so much between the moisture plume because of the short wave that's going on tonight. If we see a moderate, I do think it will be a damaging wind. However, I need to scream this, and I don't mean actually scream.
Yeah.
If any discrete supercell forms in the south, it's a moderate-like environment.
Okay.
So what that
Yes.
means is it's basically going to be luck in a way. We won't completely know how many discretes form. Will the south be more capped? If the south is more capped on Friday, that tells me Saturday is going to be even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, can I mention this? Can I mention this?
Go right ahead.
Can I? Yes. I would like to mention that the models have not been except the Euro, which I think the Euro is an outlier here. I don't think the NAM 3K and the NAMUS have been showing It's basically just rain. No, like strong thunderstorms that would sweep away the moisture for Saturday morning. You can check on the NAMIS that there's literally 0 thunderstorms, just rain
I
showers.
would like to point out something about that. NAM Free K generally does like to underdo the convection. Number one.
yeah,
Number
oh yeah,
two,
I know.
the NAM has a cold bias.
I know that
We all
too.
know
I
it.
know that
And the
too. I know
Euro
that too.
has a convective bias, which means
Yep.
that it's going to do some lower dew points because it tends to like the pop up convection more a lot of
That's
the
true.
time. So I do want to say that we do have some biases in the models, and that's unfortunate because that means we're not really going to know. Thank God we have surface observations early with this shortwave.
Yeah.
The models should adjust
Should.
after this shortwave passes, and then we'll really see the scope of it. If we go moderate, it will be for damaging winds. But recently, from an NWS Lincoln discussion, I read this earlier today. They said there could be strong tornadoes on any segment that
That's
is
true.
able to long track comma heads, basically.
Yeah.
Ah.
In the while you're talking about that, I pulled up a sounding outside of St. Louis from using the data from the 18Z NAM. Now, granted, this greatly uptrended quite a bit, but
Yeah.
45 knots of wind shear
Oh
at
my
surface to
gosh.
1 kilometer, 76
Wow.
at surface to 6. Anything discrete that forms ahead of that squall line is going to take full advantage of that. Now, granted, there's about 1,000 cape for it to work with, but anything discrete in this environment, in that part of the country, is going to be in the line of fire, and there's plenty of shear for this to be carried on, I would say.
And Pat, you don't even need the screeds. Just get a good comma head feature.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
surface.
looking at it. I'm
Squalls.
looking at it. I see what you're
Squalls.
talking about.
Yep.
That is one
In
giant
fact,
squall.
In fact, I got NWS Lincoln discussion. Let's see if they kept that. Let's see if I got the MBOT. So we'll be able to look at discussions live and see what
Yeah.
they're thinking compared to us and make an educated guess on it. So I'm going to see. I'm just going to scroll. I don't want to read all this because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure. While you're
Fair.
doing that, someone in chat requested northwestern Arkansas, the soundings over there. Let's go
Ooh.
ahead and take a quick gander at that. I'm going to go ahead pluck this right here just to kind of take a quick look at the environment down there because someone was requesting it. Okay, this is pretty interesting. We're looking at 1,300 Cape, 46 knots at surface to 1 kilometer shear, 87 knots at surface to 6. That is going to enhance your supercell development. And look at the barbs,
Here's the thing,
too.
though.
Look at the
Here's the
barbs,
thing,
too.
though,
You're
like
looking
you
at
mentioned.
pretty strong speed and directional wind shear as well. That is
I would
pretty
like to mention,
concerning.
however,
That's pretty
I
concerning.
would like to mention,
Go ahead.
Pat, I would like to mention, however, that area is under the fire risk and does have a little
That's
bit more
true.
capping.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to be cautious on. It may look good, but then compared, it's a tricky situation for Northwest Arkansas. We'll just have to see what.
Yeah, I'll take a look
I-
at the
I-
SPCs.
Like, it's a mix between you get some decent potential for storms, but now then you got a fire risk in Northwest Arkansas. So it's kind of
There is a very like if we talked about the fire risk, it's like it's touching the tip of it, like right there,
Yeah.
like near Fayetteville. We'll have to monitor it. I agree with you, but by and large, in northeastern Arkansas, that shouldn't do
Northeast.
shouldn't do too terribly too much to it, but we'll have to see. I'll have to take a look at the fire risk, and I'm glad we actually brought that up now that you mentioned it at the beginning of the stream. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to point out that northeastern, that's the more of the line of fire because I thought you said northeast at first. I'm like, oh yeah, that's in the line of fire.
Yeah.
That's where the moisture and the shear overlaps. That's where the worst will be. Probably,
for
in my
sure.
opinion.
All right, Brendan's back. Hey, we're talking about day 3. We want your take on it whenever you're ready.
Day 3 as in the Saturday event?
Friday event.
Friday.
Oh, Friday. Well, look, I think for Friday, the only threat that I truly see, I mean, if I'm thinking as a storm chaser, where would I want to chase? It would have to be in West Central Illinois. And the only reason why is because you are going to have a little bit more of kind of all the ingredients coming together, right? You're going to have that jet really strong, by the way. Jet maxima is anywhere between 120 to 130 knots, which is nutty. Basically intersecting your arcing warm front. And as that pushes through, of course, on the back end of that, you have a Pacific cold front as well as carrying a dry line. That corridor where you're going to have that convergence between your southerlies and your southwesterlies being west central Illinois, that's the play. But these storms are going to be pretty much windbags because it's going to be pretty much dominated by strong surging front. Storm motions are going to be, in some cases, over 60 to 70 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And because we have our low-level jet intersecting the warm front itself, you're going to have it pretty much be more of a QLCS. Now, for folks in Alabama and Mississippi, particularly I think Mississippi, Arkansas for the Friday event, it's the question becomes: are we going to see convection? And the only reason for that is because, as we just talked about, our jet maxima and our jet stream is intersecting our frontal boundaries well to the north. And so, yes, you still get some upper level divergence, which then promotes surface level convergence in this area. It's not going to be as strong of forcing synoptically. So it remains to be seen, are we going to see storms? Now, if we do see convective initiation across Mississippi, that tornado threat becomes pretty significant.
Very dangerous.
Really
I mentioned that earlier. Any supercell that forms and can break that EML, watch that thing.
Watch out.
Watch
exactly.
it like
But that's why we say it's conditional, because at the moment, it remains to be seen whether or not we do get convection. I think we still do, but it's going to be pretty isolated to Arkansas. So for Friday, I'll kind of end by saying this, Pat and team, what I see the SPC doing, I think they're going to keep it at enhanced for Friday. I think they'll have the wind maintained at 30 sig. I think they'll go 15 everything else. Tornado, aside from that, tornado will probably be either, I'll say about 5%. Nothing higher than that. And I think they'll keep it at that because ultimately it's just going to be a wind threat for West Central Illinois. And by the time those storms move into the Chicago metro, you're going to lose that nocturnal boundary. You're going to lose that heating, which is very limited as is. It's March. So once the sun sets well after dark, those storms are going to start gusting out and losing steam by the time they get to Chicago. So 15% is out there for the Chicago metro, just in case it maintains severe thresholds. But otherwise, I think the highest chance for some pretty significant winds is going to be areas like central Illinois, extending far south into St. Louis.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much, Brendan. I want to
hold
on a second before we get on. Tristan, I apologize for interrupting, but I want to make something clear. Something came up on my desk. There's a lot of cancellations for the severe thunderstorm watch tonight in parts of Texas. Looks like the system pretty much underperformed what we were thinking, and that's not a good sign. Tristan, I know you were going to go over some stuff. I just want to interrupt and let everybody know that
I would like to mention that I feel like it would be safe, especially if any discretes fire, because again, all it takes is one supercell.
I'd like to point out David is on mute. Thank you.
Yeah, I saw it. Don't worry. I was watching it.
Thank you.
My apologies. Go ahead, Tristan.
I would like to mention that it only takes one or two supercells down there to make chaos down there. And the environment, I would say this, it's a moderate environment, but we don't know if convection is going to happen. So I think they should keep a 10 sig down there for any supercell that is able to get that. So the public won't be
a given
unaware.
at this point, considering the environment. I agree with that 100%. The question, question is, and I know we've been talking back and forth about this, do they go, if they increase it, will it be for the wind or the supercell stuff? We'll have to see what happens with that, but if you have more to add, go ahead.
And I would like to mention, they do also say that scattered thunderstorms are likely, which tells me there will likely be a discrete or two potentially. So I think a 10 sig would be the best. I was arguing 15 earlier. There was a big reason why, because when they said damaging wind swath, I was like, the cold front can't rush for that, right? What else would trigger a wind swath? At MCS. And we've seen MCSs produce tornado outbreaks over and over and over again. That's why I wanted a 15 sig earlier. Now that they're saying more scattered development, now I'm confident that it won't go 15 unless it surprises us and it becomes a complex unexpectedly.
Okay,
So,
yeah, while you were talking about that, Tristan, I found something that was pretty interesting, and I think this is something you're going to find interesting as well, and I want Brendan's take especially on this. So
Yep.
here's what I'm seeing right here. I'm looking at the herd. This is the 18Z. It's kind of the furthest that we have going out until the 0Z comes in, and we won't end the stream tonight until that run comes in because I want more data out of this, especially considering how close up
So,
we're looking at. We're looking at a cloud cover from the HER. In the Midwest, in Missouri and Illinois, it generally clears out, starts clearing out in the morning, right in time for daytime heating to start. And by 18Z, it's pretty clear across much of Missouri, Illinois. Arkansas, it takes a couple more hours, and especially in central Arkansas and parts of Mississippi. Clearing in Little Rock, for example, it's completely clear by 10 o'clock in the morning, and diurnal, and then you have the diurnal heating starting up. Brendan, what's your take on this and kind of these developments from the short range runs that we're starting to pick up, and kind of what would you kind of look at that?
If we're talking in the context of Illinois for a second, and I think we should probably turn our focus there first.
Sure.
oh boy.
I actually think that it presents more of a problem. And the reason why is because we're not expecting much in the way of moisture return, right? Remember, I mean, at least for Illinois, we're going to be seeing dew points, depending on what happens tonight. I mean, yes, could we get some isolated 60s? Yes, but more than likely it's still going to be in the mid to high 50s, right? And then subsequently to that, if we get diurnal heating earlier in the day, now we're talking about possibly temperatures overperforming, right? We could maybe even see temperatures getting up to 80 in some spots. That's what we're talking about. So as a result of that, if we hold our dew point constant within those 50s, but then warm our temperatures, our boundary layer is going to be pretty spread out, right?
Yeah.
Now, we are expecting these storms across Illinois to be very elevated to begin with, but that spread is, to me, it's a little bit concerning.
Sure.
Only because when we're talking about tornadoes, that actually just confirms to me that the tornado threat's going to be rather limited.
Okay.
Now, what I will say though is I think the only thing that really changes is actually it doesn't change much other than it just decreases the tornado threat because again it just makes your storms more elevated in that respect. You'll still see a wind threat as we talked about. You have very strong winds aloft. Storms will be deep enough to channel some of that down. And I should say, when I say deep convection, let me clean myself up here. I'm really more talking about the mixing taking place, right? If we really mix out our environment, we're going to be able to channel those strong winds aloft down to the surface. I think we will certainly see that. But in terms of things like tornado threat, I think this pretty much confirms to me that, as far as Illinois, I'm thinking, again, 2 to 5%. I even think 5% is generous at this point.
For a tornado risk?
Now, correct. I think 2 is fine, considering it's conditional.
Sure.
But I think actually 5, if you were to just tell me now that there's going to be more clearing and more opportunity for diurnal heating in the morning, that pretty much just lowers my confidence on that. Now, if we're talking then about, say, Arkansas and Mississippi, again, I think the focus continues to be, despite those developments, pretty much what Tristan said, which is all you need is one storm. Where I disagree, I'm going to kind of go off topic for a second, but where I do disagree is on the 10 sig. I actually think that's overkill. Only
Really?
because, again, and the only reason why is because we have to remember it's conditional, right? I'm not even confident we're going to see much initiation here. We may see 1 or 2 rogue cells, but in terms of a widespread event, that's obviously just not going to happen down south. And the only thing that's going to be happening up north here is going to be a QLCS with maybe some embedded rotation, possibly baroclinically induced tornadoes. But again, that even of itself is conditional. So I think personally, all in all, Pat, just kind of putting a bow on what I said before.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's main event is going to be the wind. It is going to be the wind, both non-severe and severe.
Okay.
And I think really for the Tor threat, despite what you've even just mentioned about clearing, I would actually be more interested in what the HRRR is doing once we get into range for the Gulf, because that's always a huge question when it comes to
Yeah.
our warm sector. How clear are we going to get and when?
For sure. And hopefully we'll have those answers. One thing I find interesting, though, I'm taking a quick look at some other.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah, what's up?
I do apologize. I want to interrupt real quick. I did notice one or two supercells on the bottom end of a line in Texas were trying to spin. Some brief hook echoes that occur. I am monitoring right now. They're going under a merger right now. They are outflow dominant, but one did actually try to really hook in and get inflow. So I'm just waiting to see if maybe we might get an isolated tornado warning by surprise.
I would like to, Tristan. I would like to mention that's because there's a boundary in front of it. It's trying to latch onto that boundary. So we actually, if that latches onto the boundary, we have a pretty likely chance we get a tornado because boundaries really good for bringing through that cap. So we'll see.
Yeah.
If we get that, if
We'll see. So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
monitor Southern Texas just to make sure if y'all watching from there, y'all are not unaware because there was one supercell that was located northeast of Giddings, Texas, that briefly did do a really good hook. So I just with
Yeah.
inflow. So I
For
do
sure.
just want to make that
right.
aware for the viewers watching.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
In the meantime, though, thank you very much, Tristan. First of all, we have Tony on the line. Tony, say hello.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, Brendan was just here, by the way. Fancy it was. it's
I just
Maybe
missed
left
them.
too.
it's crazy. Brendan pops up for a second, then he leaves, and then you show up. And okay, all right. In the meantime, though, Tony, I wanted to talk to you about some stuff. Brendan was briefly mentioning about the threat for Friday and kind of how he thinks it's going to mainly be a wind threat. Generally, what is your take on this, and what's your take on what we're seeing on Friday, and kind of just how would you kind of section it off in your opinion? I know you and Brendan have been talking about it quite a bit, so I'm getting his reliever.
I am in agreement with Brendan because that is going to be a wind event
Yeah,
primarily.
sure.
I haven't looked at the models today. I've been really busy at work.
That's
So,
understandable. Don't worry about it.
based off of what I saw yesterday, it looks like you're going to have an arcing warm front, and if a supercell can latch onto that, you might get a tornado out of it. But I really think it's going to be a wind threat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
you might get a tornado awesome from any comet heads that develop. Otherwise, I do agree that will be a win
sure.
event. Yes.
Yeah. All right, Daniel, if you're there, you haven't really talked that
Yep.
much. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts on the
Hey,
severe weather?
Oh, he's back. Never mind.
Yep.
He left.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Daniel.
I have been stalking more weather up here on the East Coast. But for another event that's happening the morning of the 14th, up in the sky at the moon.
Oh, yeah, the lunar
But
eclipse.
Yep.
my sanity's draining each time I look at the models on that. This severe weather event, I'm just waiting for day 2 to come out of how this event goes, and usually around day 2 or even hours before the event, I have an idea.
Okay.
So I'm not fully sure, but I would probably side with everybody else with a wind event.
Okay.
We
in the
also got
meantime-
some news.
Yeah, I was about to say,
thunderstorm.
Tristan, we got a severe thunderstorm warning. I'm reading it out right now. Radar indicates 60 mile per hour wind gusts and quarter size hail. This is just east of Austin. This is in Lee County and Fayette County in Texas. If you are in those counties, seek shelter immediately. We're looking at 60 mile per hour winds and quarter sized hail with this. So we'll continue to
It does
monitor
also
this.
have.
Go ahead, Tristan.
It does have a little bit of inflow too. And another thing to mention is that the inflow is actually not being touched and there is kind of a merger going on from a south to the north, I am watching that like a hawk.
Oh
Because
yeah.
when you have mergers and they try to latch on boundaries, they get briefly tornadic. So I want to see
Yeah.
if this cell does it here. So yeah, I'm monitoring this one.
We'll see how
Because
that
if the
pans
best
out.
chance of a tornado would be this cell right here.
I
if
would
any
agree
drop.
with that. I don't think the shear is going to be going to be good enough for generally maybe like
That's true.
anything other than like maybe like a small spin up at
A
most.
spin up tornado, yeah.
But ultimately, I'm thinking that this is going to stay severe. This is probably going to be at least until we get to maybe even like Shreveport, those areas, the last severe thunderstorm warning, and this is kind of the last chance it has to really tap into the environment it's given. But regardless, it's doing a decent job of performing the way it needs to. It has a pretty solid hail core that I can even see on the radar close to Texas. I'm going to check the radar near San Antonio. Not as discreet, not as good of resolution, but still, you got some stuff that this system has to play with. So, yeah.
I also do got some interesting data coming from the supercell. The vertical integrated liquid is 79.5 kilograms per square.
Oh wow.
The enhanced echo tops for this storm is, I think, about 36,000 feet. Yep, that's 36,000 feet. And the hydrometeor classification, we are getting some potential hail in that storm on the hydrometeor classification.
Yeah.
The velocity right now, there's a little bit of there's a broad rotation. Let me see if there's a broad one. It's broad. So there might be a broad one developing. We'll watch it. It may not last. But storms like this, a lot of the time you will get broad circulation because the mesocyclone doesn't just help support tornadoes. Just because you see spin doesn't mean a tornado is always possible. That might also be for helping hail production.
Yeah,
so
for sure. All right.
Just wanted to know there is a brief rotation.
All right, thank you very much, Tristan. Hey, Daniel, could I ask you something real quickly? Alex has been kind of asking me about this, but is there a way we can give him a screen share permissions? Because I think he might have some stuff for us to take a look at. Is there a way we can give that to him? I gave him the live roll. What's up?
It's with that, Tristan would have to stop. It's only one screen share per time.
Okay, yeah, because it's only one at a time. My bad. Okay. All right, just figured I'd ask. All right, Alex, if you want to share your screen, go for it. Oh, never mind. Sorry, Tristan. Go for it.
Hey, Pat.
What's up, Tony?
Since I've been at work all day, another 19-hour day.
Oof.
Compliments of the FAA.
Yep.
Can you kind of fill me in on Saturday real quick?
Yeah,
I know we have severe weather at looks like.
We haven't gotten to that.
Let's get it.
Yeah, we can go ahead and pivot to that. I think that's the event everybody here, the 40+ people who are still on stream watching us. Thank you very much, by the way. Subscribe to the channel and like the stream if you are new. But anyway, here's what we have for day 4. And this is our main event. We have a 30% risk from Louisiana, which encompasses New Orleans now, all the way to Tennessee and the tip of North Carolina. 15% still from Lake Erie to the coast. And we're gonna. This is gonna be our big threat. Here's what we have for Colorado State University. Here's their forecast that we have right here for probabilities of severe weather. This is pretty insane, I would say. Tony, just to answer your question, CSU, we're at over a 60% probability for parts of the Deep South, according to CSU. They have really uptrended this. And this is concerning. This is concerning for me. The 45 goes all the way up to Kentucky. Now, granted, there's one squiggly line that goes all the way there. The 30% on CSU's forecast, mind you, and I'm not saying this is the official SPC, goes all the way up to Ohio and Pennsylvania. And the 15 goes up to Canada, and generally that's what we have going on right there. But the fact that this is continuing to uptrend, and the fact that the parameters continue to look better and better, in my opinion, is a bit concerning. Now, there are, of course, a lot of questions. Tony, we were talking about cloud cover yesterday. Looks like, according to the runs, to the trends I'm noticing, that cloud cover over the last little while has definitely downtrended quite a bit over Mississippi.
Yeah.
according to the last 4 NAM runs. Now the her and the wrap aren't into out yet, but we're definitely seeing more partly cloudy skies over Mississippi and parts of Alabama than what we were seeing yesterday. So those trends have continued.
Okay.
Yeah. And whenever you have free time, you can take a look at them yourself. Talk to Brendan about it. I know you had a very busy day today with your work, but I just figured I'd tell you that as well. But anyway, go ahead, Tristan.
Have they mentioned,
What's up,
have
Tony?
they mentioned anything about convection?
Convection?
Okay.
Have they mentioned?
I will. Can I speak
go
on
ahead,
this?
Rocket.
Can I speak on this?
You haven't talked in a while, so go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to say the NAM has
Whoa!
with the GFS.
Holy crap!
What?
We got 10.
What?
We
Oh.
got gifted 10 new memberships. Wow!
I was gonna say that.
What?
Who did
Thank
this?
you,
Chris
Mizell.
Chris.
That is unbelievable. Thank you for the memberships. We really appreciate it. Wow. Wow. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We
really
appreciate it.
it. I apologize. Rockets, go for it.
No. All right. So I would like to note that the NAM and the NAMS are agreeing with the GFS with the non so over convection, which I know the NAMS and the NAM have biases, but it's agreeing with the GFS, which that's the most thing that matters right now. The Euro still has over convection, but it has trended a lot better with the trough positioning with like the GFS though. Still over convection though, and shows that messy scenario that could still happen.
Okay.
Not much change on that.
Okay.
Kind of.
All right. Does
And
that help,
I would like
Tony?
to mention that Fire Ant and I were talking about any chance of a complex watching the warm sector. Looking at day 3 right now, I am even more concerned because that's gone. It only says scattered convection. A complex is likely gone. We're likely not going to get the warm sector to be washed. And any convection that does try to enter the warm sector, models have actually been trending it to move northeast, not in the warm sector. So that gives even more concern about this event. Everything is going perfectly. There are very few dings that could screw it over, but calling it a bust is impossible now. Underperformance?
It's an underperformance. Yes.
Possible. But a bust, no. We're locked in. We are basically locked in.
The synoptics and the dynamics definitely look good for it. Mesoscale stuff is the main question. Go ahead, Tony. My apologies.
Now that is concerning if the convection, if there's going to be a period of where the atmosphere can recover. That was a big question yesterday.
Yeah.
With the outflow boundaries and the convection.
Fire Ant. They don't need to recover.
Wait.
It's that downtrending on Friday. It doesn't even need to recover.
Wait, time out. Can I say about the Euro though? Can I say about the Euro? The Euro though is actually disagreeing with every single model and showing convection literally right after that first line of storms comes through. The Euro, yes.
Yeah.
The Euro shows that.
And that's
I see that.
And the Euro has a convection bias.
That's true though. But I'm just saying it's a model. It's still a model output though.
Yes.
Pat, that's actually been consistent. That hasn't changed.
This hasn't.
So that is a little
hope.
That's
you
something that needs to be watched.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's true. A little bit of hope.
Yeah.
Some people consider copium because it's the only model run, but
and one more thing, if the model trends you thought were not worse, they're worse. And
they're worse
as
now.
I said earlier today, I mean no, not worse as in it's downtrending. I mean worse in terms of the people. Their models are trying to trend a mesoscale low between 995 and 988 millibars around the Memphis, Tennessee area, or maybe a little west or a little east, and that will trigger more.
Can I speak on this? Because I've actually I've been looking at this.
Yes. Go ahead.
The GEFS and the GFS, maybe even the NAM, have been showing a second low right near where the strongest shear is, making the shear even stronger than before, and making it. And here's the most important part: the winds not parallel but perpendicular. If you didn't know, for the people that are watching, parallel winds make it linear, not discrete. But
Yeah.
perpendicular winds make it discrete, and that the low would do that, and that's very concerning. Very concerning.
Yeah. That is concerning for sure.
Meanwhile, me and Pat are trying not to laugh over here.
If you get the joke, you know.
No. We're laughing about how I'm doing out of context screenshots of Pat.
Gosh. Oh, well,
Okay.
if you've been on Twitter, you know what I said. If
Yeah.
if you've been on Twitter, you know what I've been saying is concerning. Say the
I
least.
would.
Yeah.
The supercell over Texas has gone to 40,000 feet. He's
my
doing a
God.
decently good hill core right now.
Oh yeah, it is.
Huh.
Jeez.
So that's and I think. Let me see the velocity. Did you get a little stronger?
It's
A
Might
tiny
have.
bit.
kind of.
A tiny
It's a
bit.
bit.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
trying.
It's trying,
It's
but it's not,
trying.
I don't know if it's gonna succeed with environment.
It may not. It might. We don't know. We'll just see how the cell trends. But it is in between a position where it could do a bunch of mergers with inflow going in.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
I see
So,
three.
we'll see what
I
happens.
see 3 spots that could have potential for spin-ups.
In Texas.
Yeah.
All right. Where are they?
Where that severe thunderstorm is, there's 3 different velocities that are broad right now, but they
Oh yeah, I see.
are trying to do something. 1, 2, 3. Now, which one becomes the more dominant? The 2 upper ones look like they will become the 2 dominant ones, but which one will be the most dominant?
Once it gets that's figured out, we can figure out next steps in that regard. But
Shit.
we'll have to see what happens. What's up, Tony?
I think Tony's driving.
Yeah, I think he's driving. We'll let him do his thing. But yeah, new developments in Texas, and we're kind of covering a little bit of everything right here. I know, I just said it again. Don't worry about it. I wish John was here right now, so that way we could continue it. But
Huh? Am I missing something? Am I dumb?
did you? You weren't here for it, but we were covering. We were talking about at the end of the stream the a little bit of everything meme that we kind of started.
Oh God.
Yeah.
The wrist just got.
I sent you the highlights on the Storms United channels to keep you up to speed. It's like 2 minutes.
Oh
So.
my God! I just found your new profile picture.
Oh no!
I'm gonna send this in live chat as well for
Give me- I wanna
anybody.
see this.
No, Mike.
Let's take a quick
No,
look
Mike,
at this real quickly.
No,
wanna see this.
Look at no,
I
Mike.
know we're messing, guys. I know we're messing around a little bit, but I apologize
What?
for
I don't see
all
it.
this, bro.
I don't see
Bro,
it.
I look
live,
like I could be-
live, no, Mike. Live.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
live,
I have it
live,
on the
live,
stream,
live,
but
Mike.
yeah.
Where is it? Where is this at?
Yeah, I could
Live.
What's
I
the
could
time
be Ernie
frame
Johnson
for
with
Saturday?
that, but
I'm trying to find
Listen,
the channels.
hey Pat, are you trying to riz someone up or
Oh
what?
God!
okay,
what the
no,
crap?
no, this is a
What the-
serious stream. We're moving on. We're moving on.
Hey,
Someone was asking about
hey,
day 5. I guess Tony's back too. So, yeah.
Hey Pat,
Hey Tony, what's up?
what's the time frame we looking at for the Dixie event?
Oh, that's a question.
Oh, that is a good question. Let's take a quick gander at it. Nam
I'll
is thankfully in range. Okay, so the Nam wants stuff to fire off around 18Z. Things get pretty explosive by 21Z, and then by 0Z, it's more or less starting to merge together into a squall line. So that's what we're looking at.
See, now that kind of, you know what, that kind of makes sense now with what we saw last night with that 15Z run with all the most unstable Cape being in and around then.
Yeah. That's pretty consistent
You
with
know?
what we're seeing. Oh yeah, same
I'm
with,
still
the 18
kind of-
Does it?
Yeah,
Here's my
most
biggest
unstable
question:
capes that you
Does
can
it
see.
go? Does it go completely linear, or does it do a training on the track?
Well, it
Super
starts
cell
off as
line.
discrete
Yeah.
cells. It starts off as
Yeah.
discrete cells, but then it starts to turn into a squall line by around 5, 6, 7 o'clock.
Prefrontals. Gotta run
I
prefrontals.
given
The supercell's
given
embedded.
Yep.
Yeah, true. Also that too.
given the fact that with the way the warm sector and stuff looks, I would think that is more of a line of supercells, more of a semi-discrete line than an actual complete linear line.
Yeah, it
I
definitely
could be
looks like it
wrong.
over
We
the
need
cam.
fans to know, but it's not just that. I feel like the models are not. And this is interesting because I haven't seen this a lot from models today. And normally you would see this. You would see in a open warm sector a few confluence bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Setup.
Not yet. That's actually a little scary because it could surprise people when the new when it comes out. Because they don't.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty sure. I don't know if Nam or anything besides HRRR does well with confluence bands, right?
Yeah.
I
Nah,
don't think they do well. Yeah,
know,
alright, that's what I thought.
I know Convective Chronicles was talking about
He was.
confluence band warm sector.
W man.
Yeah,
W man.
yeah, definitely for sure. All right, but yeah, it definitely looks semi-discrete, and that's a bit concerning, given what we're seeing right here. And that remains like that throughout much of even into the overnight hours, which is worrisome. I will say based on the 18Z. The 18Z's parameters, though, are a lot better than the 12Z's from the NAM in almost every single way. The only way it's not is the most unstable cape is a little bit lower, but marginally, like by like 50 compared to joules per kilogram. And the environment's definitely just a lot better in general from what we're seeing right here.
Well, that's the thing. You're going to have these LCLs scraping the surface.
Oh yeah, lifted condensation layer is going to scrape the surface. Yeah, we were talking about that last night too.
Here's the thing that I'm thinking about Saturday, and this is where I feel like we need to get into our knowledge of how tornadoes are formed in different convective modes. Semi-discrete, discrete. I think every mode. Confluence band, discrete. Normal, discrete. Semi-discrete. If it turns linear, comma heads or embedded supercells. Things around the line. Any of those can produce tornadoes in this type of environment, and that's one of my big
What y'all
concerns.
laughing at? What y'all laughing at?
Daniel and I, sorry, Daniel is still taking photos of me out of context. So I threw him off.
No. We really no. You know what? I'm leaking this one DM from you because this really got.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but Tristan, please go ahead to the audience. I'm sorry. We're just trying to have a little fun.
Nah,
all right. Live no mic. I really want to know what was going in your head right there.
Oh, where's live no mic?
That later. Sorry, you can't see it.
Where's
It's off
live no
camera,
mic?
but.
We got the
all right, Tristan. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
We got the new day one convective outlook. I'm gonna look at it real quick.
Yeah,
the tornado threat has actually gotten larger, but has stayed 2%.
All right.
So now it goes all the way to the Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas border.
Yeah.
The wind threat is still the same. The hail threat is still the same. So the only thing that hasn't increased is maybe a spin up tornado possible in the strongest cells that are able to occur.
What? I just found it. Sorry, I just found it.
Oh,
what the?
Yeah, I gave you the roll. I gave you the roll so you can see it.
In the meantime, though, first question: what do we think on the tornado parameters in the Memphis, Tennessee region? Let's go ahead and take a quick gander at that. I personally think that it's going to look better for you guys on Friday than Saturday, obviously. And right now, you're in an area that could see more semi-discrete stuff on Friday nights. The main threat for that's going to be wind, but I think if anything gets semi-discrete down in the Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, it's going to go, and it's going to go pretty quickly. And in terms of escalation, I would say. And I would say your odds for that would probably be some of the highest for Friday unless for the highest for Friday, I would still say you're going to likely be under a 10 sig tour down there, in my opinion. So that's my take for Friday's
So
Memphis threat.
Pat
What's
and
up,
I
Tristan?
are basically thinking that even though the convection is not 100%, whatever supercell develops will have a cycling nature.
Bro,
despite
fire
having
it.
10
What?
sig. So that's good that we both agree on that. That's a good thing because I don't. If we had a 5 sig, this would be the perfect time to put one.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. I don't
But
think they
and
have.
someone asked,
Do
what
they have
about
5
Sunday?
6?
What about Sunday's risk? We don't have enough data on Sunday's risk. However,
Early
I can
returns
tell
are,
you
I
now,
would
it will
say,
likely be damaging.
yeah, early returns I would say are
However,
damaging wins. But right now we need to wait.
I do want to caution prefrontal development is unknown. Even though we will have damaging winds most likely on the line, the cold front is still pretty slow during that time. So I'm really curious to see if we get good lapse rates and a good warm sector in that narrow area. Will one or two showers be able to become discrete and get the environment? So I will say, and a few comments, I will say a few tornadoes are possible with mostly damaging straight line winds as your main threat. I think that's Sunday.
All right, thank you very much. Anyway, Brendan is back. We finally have Tony and Brendan together. Whenever Brendan leaves, Tony comes on. Whenever Tony leaves, Brendan comes on. Now we finally got them. So.
All right. Well, hey, look at that. I gotta go, guys.
All right,
Look at
never
the time.
mind. Bye, Brendan.
Lovers finally connected.
Meanwhile,
Brendan, how are you?
Daniel. Okay. Okay. I'm going to keep my composure, keep myself professional.
Daniel, why do you have Pat as your profile picture? That is really cringe. Wow.
It took someone to. It took me a.
I'll be right back.
All right. Anyway,
perfect time to leave.
We have a lot of explaining to do, but okay. While we're waiting for everyone
Brendan,
to calm
it's
down.
not just it's not just a normal Pat. It's a Sigma Pat.
That's true. It is Sigma.
It's a mega
Go ahead,
Oh
Pat.
my god.
Okay.
Oh my
Words I
god.
thought I
All
would
right,
hear from
let's
you.
go ahead and get back into this, guys.
Just chill, Pat.
I dug my own grave with this. Anyway,
You did.
I do want to pivot a little bit because I know Alex has been kind of bugging me about this a little bit, but we actually may have some activity out in the tropics.
Wait, what?
Yeah. We're looking at some. We've been looking at some runs, and I know we're 2 months and a half. I know we're about 2 months early to talk about tropics right now, and I'm sure everyone's like, "Where's the severe weather right now, Patrick? Where's the severe weather right now? Why are we talking tropics, Patrick? I know you did the best with that. I know you're trying to harp on that, but come on, where's where's the severe weather event?" First of all, I was just acting right there. Second of all, we got some interesting stuff happening out in the Atlantic. Let me go ahead and pull it up.
Where?
Quickly. If you're
I need.
I'm okay, Tristan.
Sorry.
What's up?
I need some explanations.
dear God.
I
All right,
I
so
don't see anything.
here's what we have going on right here. Here's the GFS
Oh,
run
no.
we have pulled up for you right here
no.
out in the Atlantic. We have a low pressure system organizing and developing right now in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And ultimately, it's not going to do that much. And it's going to merge, according to this, into a frontal boundary. But ultimately, I've been taking a look at it. The tropical team's been kind of analyzing it pretty quickly. I'm looking at the tropical chat just to make sure. I'm going to go ahead and show a few things very quickly. We also have this right here. This is, for those wondering if this is a warm chord or cold chord event, this looks like it's going to be generally warm chord, which means this is more tropical based instead of mid latitude, or like I would say like frontal based. So this is some interesting stuff right there. Definitely something I'm going to keep an eye on, and we'll get more data and information out. Won't affect anyone, but I figured I'd bring this up just because, number one, this came out of nowhere. Number two, this week has pretty much been a little bit of everything. And number three, I like tropics, so I apologize.
And goofing.
Fair enough.
Yes, and gooning. Yes.
What? That's not what I said.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, I just said that.
Exposed.
No,
Exposed.
no. You can't come back from that one. You're-
It's on Twitter.
Okay, I'm gonna relax.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. We got a
Uh,
$10 donation from Peter Moss saying, "I want to see
Oh,
Sigma
darn.
Pat."
Oh, no.
Oh no.
I think, by the way, Sigma Pat is trending on Twitter right now.
No way.
Imagine
No.
All right. I'll
No
go,
shot.
one with the okay.
I'll go ahead and show. I'll go ahead.
That's.
I'll go ahead and show.
Pat's
no.
career just flashed
No.
between
Yeah.
beyond his eyes.
Hey,
No,
hey,
it's
it's
flashed
a
before his
meme.
eyes.
It's a meme. Come on, we can have a little fun here.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go, Pete. Thank you very much for the $10 donation. I hope this was worth all the money.
Yeah.
I apologize. This got out of hand real fast.
First of all, Pat exposed tonight. I did not realize this was going to happen.
Did not expect that.
And second of all, what the fuck came out of your mouth?
Bro, you just used our one curse word. You just used our one curse word.
Oh, you know what? That's $5 in the jar for him.
You just used our one swear word, Daniel. You just used it.
Well, you said something just as equally as bad, if not worse.
That's true, though. That is true. That is true.
At
We need
least
to
you didn't have. At least you didn't have an AI cover saying
No.
saying the hard
Oh
R.
nope.
What?
We're on stream.
What?
Hold on.
We'll deal
what?
with it later.
What?
We'll deal with it later.
Okay. Okay.
I do want to ask Brendan something while he's here.
No.
This has been.
Okay,
He's not
fine, I
here.
won't.
Yeah, he's not here.
Can we? Let's go ahead and get back into this. This will be for
Yeah,
those of you who
let's-
want to see this. This will be in the highlights tomorrow at the Storms United channel. Let's move on. All right, go ahead, Tony.
Yeah.
What will happen if there is more convection than what they're thinking on Saturday?
That's not going to happen. No
No
shot. No shot.
Really?
No, I'm going to tell
think
you why.
that?
Because again, we talked about at the beginning of the stream. You're going to get clearing. You are going to get
That's
clearing.
true. Yeah.
You are going to have a subtle shortwave trough in the back end that's going to have southwesterly winds in the mid levels. No shot. That stuff's you're going to get a clearing warm sector regardless. And as a matter of fact, this leading shortwave, as many have been talking about in the weatherverse, actually came in weaker than expected. So
Okay.
That's true.
as a result of that, you're actually seeing, and I don't know, Pat. Well, I'll just talk it through. It's fine. You don't have to necessarily show it, but the NAM 3K is actually uptrending the SIGTOR parameter because of it. It's actually
Really?
shot up quite a bit for Arkansas. Yeah, if you wanted to actually
I'll check pivotal weather.
take a look at that.
Oh my. Yeah, I saw that.
18Z spikes for SIGTOR parameter.
Yeah, I
And
want to
my
see if the
guess-
zero Z capitalizes on that.
It might. And I what time are we getting 0Z again?
Zero Z hers coming out right now, actually, but we'll get more
Oh.
data
I would
in
like
the
to.
next hour.
Can I say something? Though?
No,
I'll
yeah,
give a
please,
quick
go ahead.
warning.
Yeah.
I will give a quick warning to people that are looking at the HRRR. It is heavily overmixing right now with the dew points. Heavily overmixing right now.
Yeah.
I can see that. It literally
Yes.
clear as day on it. So be cautious of the 0Z. I would lay a little bit, just like maybe tomorrow 12Z to see if we get better information, because I don't know if that's going to give us the best information with that much overmixing.
And then I believe, if I'm correct on my assumptions here, I agree on the overmixing on the HRRR. Good call out. But then, is it who is doing the opposite? Who's undermixing? Is it the NAM?
I think the
was
NAM
undermixing.
is decent. NAMIS. I think NAMIS is way too high. I think NAM is okay, but it ain't the best. NAMIS has it all the way, I'm pretty sure, into central
Illinois.
Illinois. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. Yeah, central
Yeah.
Illinois.
Yeah, while we're
yeah,
doing
so-
that,
yeah.
we have our head admin John in here from Storms United. John, how are you doing?
Legend.
Doing
How
all
are
right.
you?
How you doing?
Hey.
You missed a
John?
lot.
A little bit of everything.
Yes.
Not John.
Gosh. No.
Just go back a good 3
Uh.
minutes and don't question what came out of my mouth or Pat.
I
Because
probably
we
don't
both said
want to
things that
know.
maybe we should have said on air. Preferably not.
Okay.
We're
Yeah,
both
definitely
we're
not.
both we're
First
both
of all,
going into the
I'm
timeout
ready.
corner.
Brendan, please continue. Or Rockets, please continue. I am sorry.
I am back.
No,
by
you're
the way.
okay.
Hi,
You're
Tristan.
fine.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Who's going?
Who wants you, Brendan? You're good
1, 2,
now.
3. Not
or-
it. Not it. Not it. Okay, me. So,
Cap.
no, I still
Same.
think like my opinion has not changed for Friday. Saturday, what is really concerning, I don't know if we had a chance to pull soundings. I know people in here have, but I'm talking, on stream.
Yeah.
I'm really not trying to overhype Saturday, y'all. Y'all know me, I'm pretty conservative.
Yeah.
But those soundings out of Bama, Mississippi, especially east of Yazoo City,
Oh,
holy smokes.
holy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I was about to say.
unbelievable. I mean, everything is perfect on that. By the way, one thing that people maybe not talk about as much on soundings is the LCL, which is your cloud base. It is, these are scraping
Yeah.
the ground.
Yes.
I mean, this your
Oh.
photos are incredibly cyclical. And by the way, you can thank again that low to mid level southwesterly flow aloft for that,
Oh.
followed by backed winds. But yeah, some of the best soundings. I'm guys, somebody help me out here. Without saying April 27th, does anybody have?
Whoa.
Does anybody have?
I
Like,
know a very good. I know a very
yeah,
good.
please.
dam
I'm trying to think
where
of the last time I've seen something that
the
perfect.
last time I saw really good soundings in the South that didn't fail. So we're not going to talk about 2021's too high risk. We're not. They didn't fail per se. They underperformed.
They underperformed.
The last one I remember
Yeah.
had some really good soundings was hours before December 10th, 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Was it December 10th? Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
That-
Yep.
I believe that. Oh, we all remember that day. Actually, I don't because I saw videos.
I remember
I
that
remember
day.
that.
I was
I was in school when that happened. That was crazy.
on coverage.
Yeah,
for,
same.
I was on coverage for 12 hours, and then right before bed, I cried a little bit, seeing all the damage.
Yeah.
I remember that day.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
that was,
wonder who you were on coverage
Mm.
for.
Anyway.
Yes. Thank you
Okay.
for that opportunity.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say December 10th would be a good one, Brendan. I think a lot of these guys would. Tristan would.
December 10th. I mean, these guys, it's just, I mean, helicity. I think it was the 0 to 3 kilometer helicity at like 600 meters squared per second squared. I can't, I'd have to go back to December 10th to see that type of cracked helicity. It's unbelievable. So, and also, by the way, another thing I'll just add. Oh, okay. The other thing I'll just add too is that the CSU, like, I know I shouldn't be bringing up the CSU, but I can't recall the
gosh.
last time I saw it maxed.
Yeah. I can't.
Oh, okay,
either. That was the
I
concerning
remember.
part.
One of only
I
maybe a
can.
few times.
I can.
Okay,
Can we
go for
talk
it.
I
about
can.
something that
The
no
last-
one has talked about for Saturday?
Well, hold on. Let him answer first, and then we'll go to it.
It was the last time. It was last year. It was actually last year. It was surprisingly last year. It was May 26th, 2024.
Oh.
That day was pretty darn significant with 70 tornado reports and a moderate risk wind event.
When was the Greenfield tornado?
Like maybe
Was that the 24th?
that was I'm not sure, I don't remember exactly, to be
Let me
honest.
look.
But that May 26 did perform to expected. So it just
May
it's
21st.
that
Okay.
performed to expected. So just a little note there. It was that note there.
I want to talk about something that no one has talked about, and I want to bring awareness to our viewers about two things. Number one, if you are trying to chase on Saturday, you are asking for a death sentence. Do not chase Saturday. in Dixie
Unless you're
Alley,
experienced.
if you are not a properly trained storm spotter or storm chaser, do not even touch Dixie.
And even if
this
you
time,
are,
because this
I would
is-
strongly advise against it anyway because of the
Well, some people
parameters,
have
also
to,
the geography as well. Like that part of the South, I've driven through that part of Alabama on several occasions,
Yeah.
actually. It is very forested. It is very
I have
forested.
two.
You're not going to see that much.
I have two. There's
Yeah,
another thing
yeah.
I need to mention here real quick. If you are expecting to see these tornadoes, good luck. The PWatts are over 1.6 inches. Rain wrapped tornadoes we are expecting.
Yeah.
That brings even more deadliness when you consider how fast these things might be moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and here's the thing, and Brendan, correct me on this. I am not an expert at this part. Don't rain wrap tornadoes mute the velocity so they're stronger than what they're seen as?
What?
What doesn't
Mute the
rainfall
velocity?
contamination?
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I've heard something about a lot of rainfall around a tornado can make velocities look a little weaker than what
You
they
mean like
would.
on radar?
Yeah.
No,
heard it
because no, only because.
All right.
Well, I guess maybe in a sense, but I mean, if you have a really tight, coupling,
Yeah, you'll see it.
and I mean, yeah, and plus with
walking
dual
away.
pole, maybe that would have been the case maybe about 15 years ago, but ever since dual pole, I mean,
Yeah.
you got your CC too.
That's true.
So I would say no. Maybe now I will
But
say
again,
I think to your
because
point,
I didn't
maybe
want-
by
I
about
didn't
5 to
want
10
assume.
knots there's a delta, but like otherwise it's pretty negligible.
Yeah, I didn't want to assume, so thank you.
No, of course, good
I
question.
wanted to ask for that good reason.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure.
We got a new mesoscale discussion, I think.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, that's for
Severe weather
Texas.
preface air from Watch 29 continues. Severe weather potential may linger locally for another 1 to 2
cancel
hours
severe
with an
thunderstorm
ongoing
warning, by the way.
band over eastern Texas. The radar loop shows a semi-continuous band of storms advancing eastward across eastern Texas. It remains largely sub-severe. The convection is moving from an axis of most substantial instability at this time. Per latest rapid analysis-based objective analysis, which suggests that lingering severe risk could begin to diminish over the next 1 to 2 hours. This is further supported by evening RAOBS. Is that observations?
I think so.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes,
Right,
okay.
right.
Which
Yeah,
upon
that's
continued,
observations.
yes,
All right.
which upon continued gradual boundary layer cooling suggests that the environment is becoming increasingly less supportive of any ramp up on convection intensity and severe potential. That was the mesoscale discussion for parts of East Texas into Western Louisiana, and I learned something new today.
Yep.
And you know what?
What?
That's awesome.
That is
Nice.
awesome.
That this phrase means soundings, or not service analysis. So
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Brendan, I wanted to touch on something with you very quickly, if that's okay. While we're on,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about day 4 stuff. How much do you take into consideration SIG towards supercell composite, or is it just something you just play around with?
Depends on the setup. And so in the case of Dixie, I actually tend to use it quite a bit
All right.
because we tend to have a lot of surface-based convection.
Okay.
That's true.
Or surface-based dependencies, right? So like in the case of Dixie, you already have really low LCLs,
Yeah.
as you'd expect. And so with the SIGTOR parameter, SIGTOR parameter is really going to take more into account, and don't quote me, but I believe it's like 0 to 1 kilometer helicity shear,
Yeah.
surface-based cape, and maybe one other thing. Very more so surface-based.
All right. I just figured.
so-
Sorry. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, no, but now for the planes, you got to be careful. If you have any elevated convection that would involve using things like mixed layer cape, if you're, again, because it's more dependent on surface-based cape for the therms, you got to be careful. But in this case, no, I think that's a pretty good parameter to
All
use
right.
in
Before
this
I
context.
continue, hey John, do you want me to show this to our stream? To the storm code.
Yeah, if you want, I'm working on it right now. So,
Okay. All right.
but yeah, if you want to show what I've done
Sure.
so far, that's fine.
Yeah, we have we have a hatched code orange for the severe threat on day 4, and we have a code red in effect right now. We're kind of doing this as a premature setup. We're not doing hatched red yet because they haven't issued a moderate risk on this. Day 3 moderate is hatched red for what we're generally thinking about with John and I and how we've been talking about it. But I just figured I'd bring this up very quickly. But anyway, Brendan, the reason I wanted to ask you about the SIG Tor parameter supercell composite is over the compared to the 12Z, the 18Z for the supercell composite in 12. First of all, for the 12Z, supercell composite maxed out at about 25, 26 or so, but in a more, I would say, concentrated area in Mississippi and parts of Alabama by 21Z on Saturday, which is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. 18Z is they pushed it up further to the north, maxing out around 25, but it's a bit also more widespread generally in terms of actually no, it's a bit more retracted actually, but SIG Tor parameter, oh my goodness, it's interesting. SIG Tor parameter maxes out at 8.9 at the 12Z. 18Z maxes out at 9.9. We're almost at 10. We're almost at a teal right here. And this is not just in one area. It's in It's in a large area too.
Yeah,
Louisiana,
well, Pat,
Mississippi.
it's because we're seeing helicity and shear off the charts.
Oh yeah.
So that's
we're
0 to
seeing
1
an increase
kilometer
of
shear.
both of those. So
yeah, well, 0 to 1 kilometer shear, 0 to 1 kilometer helicity is phenomenal.
Yeah.
As well as the surface-based cape. By the way, surface-based cape is hovering around 2,000, which I mean for this time of year is really, really good.
That's
that's
equivalent to
yeah, and also by the way,
3,500 joules per kilogram of cape in Oklahoma, I would say.
yeah, exactly. Wanted to get to one question here from Kat, who asked, is Tennessee Dixie? Just asking because people say two things, or Ohio Valley or Mississippi. So typically it depends. If you are near Memphis, it's mostly going to be referred to as like the mid to really the lower Mississippi Valley region. If you're in a place like Nashville or, we'll call it central or eastern Tennessee, I know Eastern Tennessee can sometimes be referred to kind of being in the, I don't know if it's the Blue Mountains there is a different term for it, but near the Appalachians. So really Tennessee, it would be considered Dixie in some respect. But if you're talking about Western Tennessee, then you'll hear it being more so referred to like the Mississippi Valley or the lower Mississippi Valley. So now Ohio River Valley is going to be to the north. That's for folks like Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Brandon. But yeah, I figured I'd ask you that just so that way, just mainly because I thought it was pretty interesting. And this data that we're getting with the 18Z runs is pretty concerning for me. But at the same time, we also have to take caution with it because the 0Z and 12Z have OBS, the 6 and 18Z don't. And I'm hoping the 0Z runs can give us a better idea of what the environment's going to look like and taking into consideration these current observations. Now, the HER, we have the 0Z coming out. We're 72 hours out, or not 72, 72% out, 35 hours out for the HER. So we'll get more data pretty soon, and we'll easily be able to dissect this. But by the time the stream ends tonight, so yeah.
Hey, Pat, question for you. I always get this mixed up.
Sure.
Which one of the cams or my question really is with the NAM or any of these cams, which ones are going to provide me with updraft helicity swaths?
Updraft helicity swaths. The HER provides it. The RAM
NAM does.
I thought NAM did.
Can
you check the NAM real quick and see if it does, if it has it?
NAM Nest does. Well, gives helicity swaths. Updraft helicity.
Okay.
NAM Nest and
HER and NAM Nest do.
All right, let's do NAM. Can you pull up the NAM Nest and do some helicity swaths?
Yeah, where do you want them?
Oh boy.
Let's focus on the. Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm on somebody else's stream. No, if we could do like the Midwest first.
Sure.
Oh boy. You're about to be
So,
in a rude awakening.
Here's our helicity swaths, Brendan. If you want, we got them.
Okay. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
So as where I'd expect it, Central Illinois. Okay, pretty much along the boundary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not surprised.
Yeah, I just.
That puts. Okay. All right, and then let's also then look at Well, I think we're still out of range for
We're out of range
Dixie,
for
aren't we?
Saturday, but we can look at a little bit on Friday. And this is Arkansas.
We can. Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I will say though, I am a bit concerned
Oh, look how
about.
limited that is. Yeah, so it really wants to concentrate around the QLCS
Mm-hmm.
for Illinois.
Yeah.
Hmm. Can you one last thing, zoom in on the Illinois situation if you can. Pick another region.
Yep.
Ooh.
Here you go.
Just zoom in on it.
Yeah, I got you.
It's just sorry, I'm a bit
Take your
delayed.
time.
There we
Don't worry
go.
about it.
All right, so that's yeah. Okay. Not bad.
I just hope I
That's
don't
not
lose
bad.
power from this. That's all I want.
I hope so too. Listen, well, here's the thing.
Go
I
ahead.
am really damn close to those swaths. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. So
Glad to hear.
that's that Central Illinois magic, Pat.
Yeah.
I'm in the heartland now. Central Illinois magic.
Oh, nice.
I got a
So,
really
alright.
important question for
Sure.
Brendan here. I am
Yeah.
looking at the new 00 soundings that just came out from across the United States in the Storm Prediction Center sounding archive. And I am looking at the Southwest United States because you mentioned that shortwave coming from over there to clear out. How would it clear that out? Would you need a bunch of dry air, or is it more of the flow?
Yeah, because what you're going to have is, well, for one, the Gulf is really, Tony, absolutely not. And I'm not going to repeat that on stream,
Oh,
but I'm
no.
going to say no. I'm going to say no. I'll take that offline. But no, but to your question, look, that subtle shortwave, let's back up for a second and think about Dixie. Okay. Dixie, for the most part, if you look at like any forecasted profiles for these really bad severe events, it's a pretty saturated profile, right? That's just Dixie because you are in the Gulf, pretty much. So you'd expect your profile to be saturated. Now, what happens if I introduce southwesterly flow over top of the boundary layer? Now I get an EML, start to dry it out. Right? And so if you get some mixing, right? You get clear out, you get some mixing, some diurnal heating, you can dry things out a bit, right? And so if you look at where that shortwave trough is orienting, right? It originates in the plateaus, Mexico, Texas, ejects northeast behind the original system of concern for Friday, and brings with it southwesterly mid-level flow. And so as a result of that, you get, and Pat, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but you get an EML.
Yeah.
So with that, you are creating more of an environment to clear out. And by the way,
Yeah.
I'll also comment too, and somebody on Twitter, I wish I had the tweet. There's been so many tweets about Saturday, it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But
It's
there was
been insane.
somebody brought up a really good point about if you do get that EML to establish itself, you're not going to get much widespread convection
Yeah.
initially. And as a matter of fact, that actually bodes well for supercells because that's going to leave plenty of room to run. So, yeah.
Go ahead. I would like to know. I'm actually looking at soundings across the Mexican plateau in southern Texas. If you want to look at it more closely with how much dry air is over there and estimate how much will be transferred to the Dead Sea. I am actually looking at.
I mean, and look at that. Yeah, exactly. Look at that. Look how dry you are aloft, and also look at your. But then again, where was that sounding taken?
That sounding's taken right at Brownsville, Texas. Here's another one from just.
Oh, that
north
makes
of
sense.
there.
Why it's westerly? Yeah, because it's okay.
Yeah,
So,
and then there. Yeah.
oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, dry. So
Y'all see that chat?
Yeah,
Plenty.
that's a problem.
That's what the DFS looks is as a cam, and that's concerning.
So in other words, again, imagine, notoriously Dixie is I hate to say the word moist. It's moist. Okay. Don't get any weird ideas. Dixie's moist. Okay. Traditionally, profile is pretty saturated. But what happens if I introduce dry air over top of my boundary layer? Problems. Lots of problems. So, this is going to be, I think Saturday, and actually, Pat, I'll be the first one to say it live in front of your viewers and the subscribers. I think they pull a high.
Yeah.
After what I've seen tonight, with a weaker than expected
initial shortwave moving through on the front end. I think Saturday. I mean, now granted, they'll wait till day one. I think they'll
Yeah,
up to
they're gonna
moderate
wait till day one to
next
do
Friday.
it.
They're going to wait till day one.
Do
It's
they
too
go
early
day
to
3
say
moderate?
I think they go day 3 moderate. No
John,
question.
get the hatch dread ready.
And then I think day one.
Okay,
they'll
I'll
go
get
high.
that.
All right.
Actually, hold on. I think they do enhance first, then moderate because we got 2 updates on
I've
day
seen
3.
day
So
3
they can take
moderate
a little
true,
bit
yes.
more time to get data.
That's true, but yeah.
I think we're
Yeah,
gonna
I think
still gonna
it'll
pull
be a
the
very
hatch
brief-
thread.
No,
Yeah.
well, technically it already is enhanced.
It's yeah, I was about
Technically
to
it is.
say.
So they could just go
Well,
moderate.
Yep.
I have some good news. actually.
What's up?
Kind of. It's for the H triple. Well, it's for H triple R. It's not actually as bad as I thought it was gonna be on mixing. It's actually pretty darn good for you could look. It's actually uptrended. It's agreeing with the NAM. It looks like. It looks like it's agreeing with the NAM. So that's good news for forecasting.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
There's a bunch
But-
of will remits because there's a bunch of dew points that are missing. But in terms of the
Yeah.
flow and how aggressive it is, it agrees. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
That's good to note.
Yeah.
I don't like. So here's what I'm thinking the moisture is going to be. That H triple R is a little bit more to the south, but I like the idea. That NAM's a little bit too
Yeah.
far north. I think the boundary of your 60s will be around the very south eastern corner of Missouri, where the Missouri, Kentucky, and Tennessee borders and Arkansas come together. The 4 border, I like to call it. I think that is where your 60s will end.
Mhm.
In between the model runs and with the ensembles.
The NAM's starting to come out, guys.
Is it no way? Is it actually? Wait.
We got 3
Right,
hours of
it-
it, but we'll
All right.
see how it happens. But the
This
hers
is
is
where
80%
we
out.
see the
Ensembles
Saturday.
coming out? Are the ensembles coming out?
No,
No.
they're coming out in the next 2 hours. Wait, yeah, 2 hours. But the name is out.
Damn, they're late on the
Okay, the
We
Zero
like the
Z Horror
party.
is definitely,
That's
at
not
least for
fair.
Friday's event, is definitely uptrending a lot more compared to the 18Z.
Mhm.
In terms of Cape, at least.
Yeah.
That's problematic.
see
and
it.
So-
it concentrates the majority of the Cape in southern Illinois and Kentucky. Like Carbondale,
Oh, that's right where
those
I am.
areas.
That's right where I am.
Yep.
That's
Some people
kind of a
have-
rut row.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
That's
what the
right
heck?
where I am.
Wait a minute, what the heck?
And y'all-
Why is my stuff not showing?
Oh.
Technical difficulties.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm an
Wildcat is
idiot.
fixing that.
I'm an idiot.
What? What?
I am an idiot. How long?
What?
Well, Pat Fitz is that. I wanted to ask a question
Bro,
to Brendan about Friday. And
If you guys pay
this
attention to
is something
the
that's been itching in my head to ask,
Go ahead.
but I didn't want to be too crazy because of the way we've seen Cyclone
Ooh.
Bomb, Cyclone Genesis with QLCS really be able to go far. Do you think, in a realistic term, in theory, could this become a derecho?
Oh,
Uh,
that's
I
actually
would
not out of the
say
question.
no.
No.
I would say no only because the thermodynamic profile is not supportive near Chicago.
No, it
That's true,
definitely
though.
isn't. And it looks like it's,
And so
yeah.
well no, I was just gonna say real quick, Pat,
Sorry.
the only problem in oh wow.
Look at the
Sorry,
Cape.
my stream's delayed.
Look at the Cape.
Wow.
almost
Wait,
2,000.
hold on. Oh, that uptrended.
yeah.
That's
Ooh,
significantly
I would
okay.
beg the
uptrended
difference,
for
Brendan. I would
Friday.
beg
Alright.
the difference.
Change of plans. Change of plans. Okay.
Hold on.
Focus on. I'll get back to the derecho question in a second. Focusing in on South Central Illinois, they go 10
Alright,
sig
that's where
tour.
I
That
am.
changes the game right there. That changes the game.
Yeah.
Let's look at the super
10 sig
super
tour for
sub
South
composite's
Central or
definitely higher
South Central
too.
Illinois.
Sig tour
Yeah.
parameter.
So,
yeah, but yeah.
Ooh.
the
problem
only
is, though,
thing
sorry.
Oh.
Wait. Sorry,
I'm
Brendan.
trying to
We're cracking
think here.
2,000 at 2:00 in the afternoon.
pull a
There's kind
sounding
of-
on
there-
that, please.
I don't.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll
yeah.
have to go on Pivotal to do that.
Oh, you have to go on Pivotal for it.
Yeah, I wish.
One
Which
problem I-
Which
and-
part of it? Which part of it
Which
on your own? I
COD,
might be
like-
able to help you there. Which frame are you on? I got the H triple R on Pivotal right now. Which frame are you on? The last frame?
Got it.
43.
He
43.
43.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to continental U.S. regional. United States, Midwest United States here. 43, where are you? You're as lackluster as
Here's
my
your
dreams
sounding,
model.
Brendan. It's going to take a second, but
That's fine.
the
I'm watching.
shear is dog crap at the surface.
Ooh.
At the shear's dog crap, but at 6 kilometers, it's
Oh.
decent for thunderstorm development.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kinda-
Now go up to do like a central Illinois sounding now, or like
Sure.
West Central.
A lot of
I'll do it
significant
around
hail
Springfield.
analogs. That's interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
I may be eating my words on
I-
one of
Very
these ones.
damaging wind. That looks really damaging straight line winds.
That
Let me
looks
see
like
that
a squall
DK.
setup.
Oh.
that
That might
it might be
change the
setting up
game
for a
of whether or
squall.
not this might do it.
See,
That might get it. That might get it
I might get it.
because it's.
I'm not
I
saying
think
it's
that's
going to
the
happen,
most.
Brendan.
You know
I'm just
what?
asking.
Just okay. Never mind. It starts.
no, I take
That's-
that back. No, I take that back. I jumped the gun.
Mm,
I really think that I don't think the threats change much
No,
with respect to the severe
no.
situation.
Still a squall.
Now, if that would be if that
if that main dew point line gets higher, then maybe it just because
Yeah.
that main dew point
yeah,
line
the
is
dues have got to
still
come up.
under.
They got to come up. And yes,
Yeah.
we will get I believe question for you guys. I haven't looked at this part. Am I mistaken in thinking that the convection, the QLCS that does form, is that along the warm frontal boundary that takes place?
Cold front. I think it's
Oh,
along the cold front.
It is
pretty
the
sure,
cold
'cause-
front?
'cause there's EML.
Yep.
I think
That's
so.
along
Yeah.
the speeding cold front.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. That's
While
what I
we're
thought.
talking
So
about
that
this,
right there is the cold
someone
front.
in chat is asking about Northern Alabama. Northern Alabama.
Oh,
Oh,
that's rough.
please, we need to answer this because
Oh,
Yeah.
my grandma.
Northern
Oh.
Alabama looks like it's going to be in the line of a little bit in the line of fire.
yeah.
WRF.
I have been monitoring Northern Alabama for Friday.
Yep.
For Saturday.
Oh my God! No,
Saturday.
go back to
We'll-
that. No. You're not going to get away with that.
What?
Go back to that, Pat.
What?
That thing you just showed on Twitter.
The tweet? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go back to that,
That's
Yep.
yeah.
please. Is that? Yeah, let's see. Oh my God!
Yeah.
It's literally it's. I
Oh
mean,
my
I
God,
got one
ladies and
problem
gentlemen,
with
that's what an
it.
EML does. That's what an EML does right there.
I
Boom.
got one problem with
Yep.
that. Only one problem.
Night.
What? What's
Where's
your
the
problem?
confluence bands? That's
they're
the cold
they're
front.
forming up. No, that's no. There's confluence bands
That's the
right
cold front.
in front of it.
Yeah.
No. There's confluence bands. I see confluence bands in there. I see it.
Yeah, but
Right
you would
there.
expect confluence
In front of the
bands in
front?
Western Alabama too before the ones from
Yeah.
the cluster would even arrive. Where are those supercells?
Those are supercells. The confluence bands explode when they get into Mississippi. That's like literally
They
perfect.
do, but here's what I'm
That's right.
asking. Hold on, Rockets, slow down. What I'm seeing here is yes, you get confluence in that region, but when you normally talk about the convective mass to the north, you would get some confluence bands well ahead of that in some situations.
Sure.
And your warm sector is huge. So where are those confluence bands that will form in Alabama?
Oh wait,
before
I
the
would like to mention.
Mississippi's arrive?
Yeah. Hey,
Hold up, wait. Sorry, I have to mention this because someone mentioned this on Twitter. The GFS struggles with. So here it is. The GFS has not been very remotely able to resolve prefrontal confluence bands because it's such a bad model. It's like not a good model with cams. There probably will, if this model is correct, there will be more prefrontal cells since the GFS is just not like not good with
it's
printing
not
out
good with
supercells.
those.
Right, and with the GFS though, let's not forget. I mean, it's more of a
It's
well,
a
the grid
global
spacing
model.
is
The
higher.
grid spacing
Yeah, it's
is
more
absolutely
it's
Exactly.
grainy. Yeah,
for
so it's not going to do a good job.
it's not going to do a good job for mesoscale stuff.
So basically,
still-
what we're saying is, hold on. That image, that loop, but times 2.
Yes,
That's what you're
basically what we're saying. Yes, that's what we're saying because there's gonna be
I would be
bad
now.
because
Here's my biggest question: what does Friday night and Saturday morning do to parts of it?
That's the main.
based on
And
how
I'm
things
very
trending-
curious to see. Go back to that Twitter thing again.
Oh, yep, I got it.
It looks like something I've been looking at. That's an MCS.
Ooh.
Play again.
It's playing. It's
That's
a
the
TS.
MCS I was talking about. It's unorganized, but you see the way it kind of MCS.
Are you talking about in the northern side of it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
The way it kind of, it's an unorganized one.
Yeah.
Which is very bad because unorganized don't really kill warm sectors if they're not on.
Nope.
That actually promotes supercell development.
For sure.
Exactly.
All right, Brendan, what are your thoughts on all of this stuff you are seeing right now?
Very disturbing, but then again, not surprising. I think that
True.
tweet by Andrew Brady, pretty much, and again, it is just one interpretation, but it does provide confirmation that we are seeing the setup come together and what the output would look like under these conditions.
Yeah, someone's commenting what the pink lines are. That's that's holistic
up traps.
Up trap over 75.
Yep, 75.
That's
exactly.
pretty big.
You know what the worst part is about that? You know what the worst part is? Will there be another round behind it? Look at behind there. There's kind of a few storms developing along the potential new low.
I think lower Mississippi Valley, yeah, for sure.
That's near me. Oh, that's near me. Oh, that's not good if that's the case, because no one's going to be focused on that.
Okay, what's the SPC?
That will not be good.
By the way,
it's out of the risk.
If that's the case, by the way, there would be a moderate risk of flash flooding for parts of northwestern Alabama too, because it trains. You got the morning round, and then you got the supercells training.
Yep.
If that was true, your moderate risk of flooding would be centered in northern Alabama, southern Tennessee, and northeastern Mississippi.
That's problematic.
So they have barely any drought, so I wouldn't be surprised if they put a flash flood watch out.
Yeah.
Eventually.
I just
Bro.
This is problematic.
I have to ask.
Yeah.
Why is the NAM being so aggressive with the moisture? The newest NAM, like they haven't downtrended. I mean, okay,
as the 0Z
been so aggressive. The 0Z is coming out. It's just continuing to be so aggressive with the moisture.
Honestly, what do you expect? It's the NAM.
Yeah, but it's usually downplaying moisture. It's at least my experience.
Not all the time.
The inversion.
Not all the time.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it
exactly.
normally would have a cold bias. So the fact that it's not doing it now gives me concern. And that's very interesting from the HRRR sounding from Western Illinois. It shows a hodograph capable of producing tornadoes, but that dew point and temperature are too spread out. If there's a comet head in there, though, it could take advantage. But otherwise, I don't see much tornado threat. But that holograph is that might be amazing for damaging winds. I will send it on No Mike and see your opinion.
Oh, yeah,
that's a damaging wind holograph, baby. I put it on the No Mike.
I am.
That is a damaging wind holograph.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Right,
the end of the zero HRRR. Wait, the end of the HRRR is actually agreeing with the NAMIS just a little bit further north. Never seen that before. Never seen that before.
Makes it easier for forecasting.
It's just more north.
Wait, Tristan, where is this taken at?
Western
Illinois.
Illinois. Central Western Illinois. West Central. Yep.
Wait, whoa, what?
This live No Mike, Brendan.
Wow.
It's taken. The sounding Tristan sent was taken in West Central Illinois. Look at the shear. Look at the SRH. Cape is interesting for sure. The shear is pretty good at surface to 1 kilometers at 35 knots. 68 knots at surface to 6. Your bulk shear is almost 70, Brendan.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
That's a problem.
That's wow. I'm surprised.
That's a problem for Friday, just for context.
I'm gonna be honest here. I really think Friday could go moderate for wind if those dew points can come up.
If the dew points
I
come
agree
up
with
a
you.
few degrees, sure, but I'm holding it enhanced.
I'm holding it enhanced now too.
Yeah, I think enhanced they stay.
Yeah, I agree.
Daniel.
Oh, by the way, wait for the viewers.
Unless it dramatically shifts in the next few model runs, I don't think it's going moderate.
Yeah. Hey, John, is
That's
this the new
fair.
storm code you have working on?
This is the updated one. I'm still adding in day 5.
For you to do that and then we'll show it to the audience and put it in Storms United. So,
Okay, I'm gonna only do severe weather instead
That's
of
fine.
fire weather because there's just so much
We have way
going
too
on.
much
That's
going
fair.
on. We have as we like to say here. John.
We
Oh
haven't
my
even
God.
talked about the snow
That's
behind
true.
us.
Oh gosh, yeah, we haven't at all.
John, say it. Wait a
A
minute.
little
the
bit
line.
of everything.
Yeah.
Oh my dear God. I might go insane.
Okay, we got a lot of people that just joined. We have 50 viewers right now. Thank you for joining the stream. For those just joining us, that's a little problematic. Our stream is not fantastic. Yeah, internet's
Good.
Oh boy.
okay. The internet, okay, it's coming back up. It's coming back. Hopefully. Yeah,
All right.
It's what?
stream is
He is
my stream's not going
Yeah.
so well.
Oh, I see it now. I
Yep.
see it now.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting. Let's see if we can fix this. That's problematic.
What did you break this time?
I didn't break
What did
anything.
you
gosh.
break? You broke something.
Ooh. Oh gosh. Ouch, in there.
Oh no.
Ooh, wait a minute.
I'm hoping this
Oh,
is
you definitely
Okay.
broke something.
okay. It's starting to. Okay, we're back. We're back, but it's very laggy with the camera at least.
Oh jeez.
Okay, never mind. We're back. We're back. Sorry, it was internet did something for a reason. All right, guys, I'm sorry it lagged. I apologize for that. But yeah, give it a couple minutes. Yeah. Anyway, what were we talking? Okay, before that happened, what were we talking about? I'm sorry.
Nan, I think.
Yeah,
We're
go
talking
ahead.
about Nan.
Go ahead. All right, we're good.
talking to
Sorry.
me?
Go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yep.
Oh, the Nam.
Yeah. you're
I
talking
think
about
we were
the
just
NAM.
saying the moisture. Oh yeah, I was saying how the moisture is a lot more than any model, surprising. Which it usually is a cold bias. I mean, it still does, but the dew points would contribute to the cold bias. And actually, Namus is pretty spot on with the GF than the NAM. But that's literally it. No
Yeah.
other model shows that much 60s to be exactly getting that far up. But I think that does contribute kind of to its the other models, like H triple and Rap mixing. If the H triple and Rap continue with uptrending moisture into 060 and 12Z, then that will be a problem for tomorrow. But we have to wait until it fixes out its moisture problem, at least or it's right in.
All right. We got a quick question here
Now.
from Kat. Hey guys, you think Saturday will be the first high risk of 2025? Last one's I remember was 2024 in January with the two high risks. One was at once. The one was after was a bust. I think you're referring to for that last part, the March 2021 stuff. But we just talked about it. We think it's going to go high. Brendan, we already talked about that.
I would like to say
so Tristan.
beforehand is that if we're talking about 2024, one of those high risks was a underperformance and not a bust
Underperformance.
because
Yes,
of
please.
Barnsdale. And this is a quote from James Spann. I need to say again. If a tornado comes down your neighborhood or street, that is your quote, April 27th.
Exactly.
We need to all remember that before we say an event was a bust. If one good tornado damaged and destroyed someone's life, that is a historic moment for them.
Oh yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely, for sure. And a good example of this was, I would say, the Rolling Fork tornado, where it looked like the event was going to bust and things were calming down. Then it just really just ramped up around 7:45. That tornado touchdown, and we had tornado emergency after tornado emergency after tornado emergency. Ethan and I were actually were live when this went down, and it started off slow, then it died down. We stopped streaming for like 30 to 45 minutes. Then things started coming back, and we restarted the stream, and we just started talking about it. T-Fold came on. That was a crazy night, so that's just a good example of that, I would say.
One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was a crazy
That is
March.
also a good example of you don't need the widest warm sector ever to produce a
True.
supercell like that.
That's true.
Because a lot of people focus on these wide supercells, but in a way, I've noticed this. If you get a narrow warm sector, the chances of supercell are lower, but their strength goes higher.
Yeah.
I've noticed that, which is
That's
quite
true.
interesting.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I've noticed that. Rolling Fork is a perfect example. We only had a very thin tongue of 60 dew points
Yeah.
that were really high, and it ended up carrying that supercell all the way to parts of western Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So all it takes is one
Yeah, it definitely
to be
does.
historic.
For sure. All right, for those of you
And
who are
on
in the
Saturday, we have a potential for dozens. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure. For those of you in the
True.
stream, please be sure to join our Discord server. It's in the pinned chat right there. Be sure to join the Storms Unite Discord server. We're talking about this quite extensively behind the scenes, and we're going to continue talking about this. We're going to keep you updated with that, and we're going to continue to do with all that. But be sure to join the Discord server. It's in the pinned chat. We'd really appreciate that. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's go. Yeah. All right. So here's the situation that we have. What's up?
Another thing to point out, I want to add something here,
Go
is we
for it.
also need to watch once those supercells start acting up. If they do act up, we're days away. I want to monitor Gulf of Mexico supercells, especially with New Orleans and Mobile and the Florida Panhandle and that enhance. I'm very curious to see if Gulf of Mexico supercells
Yeah.
coming from the Gulf also support our risk later on.
Yeah.
I would like to. Are you talking about Friday or Saturday?
Saturday.
All right, I'm about to say because Friday is capping, but yeah, all right, gotcha. I'm about to say.
Friday,
Friday.
Sad.
Friday looks absolutely nothing in the Mississippi Valley for supercells. It looks
Yeah.
capped off.
I wouldn't be
Crap.
so sure about that with the SPC wording.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
That's true. There's a chance. There's a chance it doesn't. Malls have NAM in particular does show it on caps, but nothing forms. So weirdly,
Yeah.
very weirdly, nothing forms in
I'm
the
gonna
cap
take a quick
environment.
look at the her and
But
just
that might
for-
be.
Yeah.
But that. Oh, sorry, Pat.
Go for
But that
it.
might
You
be
guys keep
because of.
talking.
But that might be because of actually I think it's because of forcing actually because there's so little forcing down there in the Mississippi part because the cold fronts just becoming less defined as certain YouTubers said becoming less defined as far as it goes, so little forcing plus not the best. I mean it's a little capping but it's just a tiny capping. It's not gonna provide much lift for storms.
Hey, Brendan, look at the 0Z her for me. It looks like the squall line and all the straight line winds, the QLCS stuff, starts developing further to the north. That puts parts of Iowa and Wisconsin in the line of fire. Take a look at that,
I agree.
Brendan. What was the 18Z going for? It didn't even have much going, but we're seeing a northward shift of the Friday risk. I would say for the QLCS threat.
Oh wait, actually that's bad. Can I explain why?
Yeah.
I would like to. That would actually leave even less forcing for Friday for the South, which means capping, which means Saturday, and which means no warning convection.
Yeah.
I would like to point that out. I
That's
would like
very
because the
concerning.
forcing would be even. Yeah, that would be yeah.
For
we don't
Friday?
want the-
For Saturday.
Yeah, because
Oh, yeah, all right.
Well, yeah, for Friday. 'Cause if the low's more northern, then we don't get much. We get even less forcing than what was forecasted, meaning no storm.
Bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect example. Perfect.
Perfect sound.
Yeah,
reaction.
that is a big rut row.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
That is problematic.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that that's going on, wow, we had a lot to cover tonight. Okay, so with all that being said, what are your guys' overall thoughts of this severe stuff that we're seeing?
I would just say if you're in the so if you're in the risk for Friday, maybe even Thursday if you like want to be extra prepared. But if you're in the risk, especially for Friday and Saturday, be prepared. I would say for damaging winds, tornadoes, all the above. Hail won't be your most likely concern, but it's still prepare for it. Prepare for all of it, just in case. Expect the worst, but hope for the best. I like to say.
My thoughts are in one, and this is just common sense in a way. I hope people, if you haven't, you have 3 days, 2 to 3 days, depending on where you are, to get supplies just in case something happens. Get some hard sole shoes if you ever have to walk. We don't want this to happen.
Yeah.
If you ever have to walk through tornado debris, hard sole shoes will be really good at
I don't like hard
protecting.
sole shoes.
Would
I like
happy
socks.
would be good at protecting your feet. If you're gonna get hit by a tornado, basement, storm shelter, an area with a closet or bathroom with no windows, and a helmet. A hard sole helmet is always good. If you're outside during a tornado warning, lie down in the nearest ditch, put your hands behind your neck, and just stay low to the ground as far as possible. If you have plans to go to the storm shelters around the state, now is your time to do it. If you are in mobile homes and you are expecting some really bad severe weather, just go to a storm shelter and don't be in a mobile home. That's a death trap. Hopefully don't be in a car near a tornado. That's a death trap. And one more thing I want to note, because we might have the situation of flash flooding combined with tornado damage in certain areas, potentially, depending on how the convection does evolution. If you see power lines down and you see flooded water around there, do not go near that power line. Power line and water do not mix.
Yes. Very much so. Yeah, Brendan just dipped. He's probably going to take care of some stuff. John, what are your thoughts on this?
Don't be scared. Be prepared.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. It's gonna be a long couple of days, but I think if people are well prepared for this will not be as bad. Well, the weather, either way, it'll still happen, but we'll get through it.
Yeah.
Have a plan in place, know what to do, and you'll get and have common sense, and we'll get through it together just fine.
All right, John, is this the new storm code that you just gave me?
Yes, this is the one I'm about to post.
All right, I'll go ahead and show it on stream. So this is our storm code that we have. This is an urgent update for tonight. We have a code yellow from pretty much the Midwest to the East Coast. Hatched code yellow is mainly encompassing the 15% significant severe. We have a hatched code orange for the 30% risks for both of them, actually. Mainly because there's a 30% sig severe, and there's likely going to be one tomorrow. And we have a hatched code red for that at 30% risk now, because that is, in our opinions, likely going to be a day 3 moderate. So if you are especially in the code orange and code yellow, take this very code yellow, code orange, and code red. If you're in any of this, you need to be paying very close attention to this. You need to take this very seriously, and we'll continue to update you here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. My final thoughts on this, I would say, are number 1, you got to be prepared for this. I know we showed you a lot of crazy stuff going on with the models. Try to relax. Panicking will make things worse. We don't want to do that. Just relax, be prepared. We'll keep you updated on the Pat's Path Predictor channel, and we'll continue to do that in a timely manner. we're going to be streaming again tomorrow night because this is going to be a continual thing that we're going to be covering this week. And you guys have showed up in pretty big numbers for severe weather events, so we're going to keep doing that because you guys clearly enjoyed us talking about this and messing around sometimes. I'm sorry about tonight. I apologize. But
Oh gosh.
yeah, you're going to see the highlights of this tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But by and large, just be prepared. Don't be scared. Just prepare for the worst. Pray for the best. We'll keep you updated on that. And that's all I really have for you guys tonight. With that being said, we're going to close the stream out here tonight. Thank you for the support and all the stuff that you've given us tonight. Thank you for the 10 memberships that you gave us tonight. John, by the way, in case you didn't see, you got gifted a membership. You were one of the recipients.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
I didn't notice that, but
yeah, I'm gonna have
whoever gifted that, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing members only content now since I actually have an audience for that. So I'll have
and remember.
What's
when
up?
we're dealing with systems like this, it's always a little bit of everything on
Yep.
the channel.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yep.
Oh,
A little bit of everything. But yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. I'm gonna try to get some membership stuff so that way we can I can accommodate you guys because this is a great thing that that was gifted, and I do not plan to disappoint. With that being said, thank you for joining tonight. I know things got a bit hairy. I know Daniel's back. Things got a bit hairy for a while. But
I wonder why.
yes. But thank you for being patient with us, and I apologize if we screwed up anything. But with that being said, we're closing it out. Be sure to like and subscribe. Join the Storms United Discord server. Shout out to Daniel as an official sponsor of the Pat's Path Predictor channel. If you want to support the channel more directly, I have a Patreon as well. It's in the first link in the description down below. With that being said, though, thank you for tuning in.